Hi, my name is Heather. Today I am doing a beginner exercise workout that can be done at home. If you have an elastic band, a resistance loop, and any form of weights, it could be ankle weights, it could be dumbbells. If you have water bottles, you could fill them according to how much weight you want to use. You could use soup cans. All of these are optional items. The first couple of times you do this video, you may not want to use any of these things, but depending on how often you do this video, you might decide that you want to increase the intensity, and you can do so by adding those things to your workout. Okay, so thank you so much for being here with me today. Remember, you are participating at your own risk. Please, 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 if there's anything that I do that doesn't feel good to you or you know that you shouldn't do it, please modify. All right, this is your workout. I am coming to you live from the other side of a computer, potentially from across the country. So I'm not going to know what your special needs and restrictions are. So it is up to you to do you, right? You know your injuries, you know surgeries you've had, so you need to take care of your body, and all of that trumps anything that I'm going to ask you to do today. All right? So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start on the floor and then gradually work our way up to a standing position. So once you get down onto the floor, we are going to start on our back. If you have an elastic band, this is a great time to use that. Again, you don't have to. You could add your own resistance here. So ultimately, I'm going to add a little bit of tension to the band by choking up on it a little bit. I'm going to keep my arms almost straight with a slight bend in my elbows, and I'm going to open those arms out to the side, squeeze my shoulder blades together, and then slowly bring those arms back up. Okay, so we're going to come down and up, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then bringing the arms back up. So make sure you're not bending your arms too much, right? So I'm not bending the elbows and bringing the backs of my arms to the floor. Ultimately, if I was to sit up and show you, my arms are staying almost straight, and I'm pulling that band right across the top of my chest, and then I'm going to slowly release. Okay, so we're going to do about 12 of these. Make sure you're breathing. Sometimes when we pull back and squeeze, the tendency is we want to hold our breath. So just make sure you're breathing. It doesn't matter. You just want to make sure that you're taking a nice deep breath in and then exhaling it out. Doesn't matter when you breathe in or out. Just breathe for me. If you do not have an elastic band today, that is okay. You're doing this exact same motion and you're just adding your own resistance. You're thinking about squeezing those shoulder blades together and then slowly bringing the arms up, right? You can still get a great workout by doing that. So this is helping to wake up those posture muscles, those muscles that help pull our shoulders back and down. Let's do one more for good measure because it's hard for me to count and do at the same time. Good. From here, we're going to put that band down if you have it. We're going to go ahead and pull your feet in so that those ankles are right underneath your knees, and we're going to bridge. So we're going to pull the belly button in first, tip your hips under, slowly peel the back of your body up off the floor, and then slowly roll it all the way back down. Good. We're going to go ahead and lift and slowly lower down. Good. So our goal here is spinal articulation. We really want to think about moving through the vertebrae, so we're not lifting our back up in one chunk. We're slowly rolling through as if we were peeling our back up off the mat and then placing those vertebrae back down one at a time. Good. Think about pressing through your heels, pulling your shoulders away from your ears. And again, what's the other part that we need to remember to do? Breathe. That's right. Good. We're going to do a few more of these. Great exercise here for our glutes, hamstrings, and our lower back. If you've ever been in physical therapy for back pain, chances are you have done the bridge before. Good. Let's do one more. Good. So you and you would put it on above your knees, and then you would just have to work a little harder to keep the legs apart as you were bridging up and down. Okay, so your next exercise, again, if you have the looped band and you want to go first time exercising with me or your first couple of times, I would say don't use the band for this next one, right? Build up a little bit of strength without the band first, and then you can gradually add the band to make it harder. So we're going to come into a side lying position. I'm going to ask that you either be all the way up on your elbow or you're going to be all the way down, right? So this way we help keep the head and neck here because I can better see you or the screen, and so I can check the alignment of my lower body. So ultimately, I want my feet to be lined up with my hips. So you don't want your feet to be too far behind you or too far in front of you, but ultimately kind of try to line them up right there with your hips. And then we're going to open and close. We call this a clamshell. All right, so this band is definitely going to make this clamshell just a little harder than it would be otherwise. So again, maybe start without the band, and then you can add that when you're ready for it. Good, so we're keeping the inside edges of our shoes together, and we're just opening and closing the legs. That's why we call it a clamshell. This is a great way to work the glutes. Yep, it helps to wake up those muscles that sometimes go to sleep when we spend a lot of time sitting. And then those muscles don't function like they should. And other muscles have to compensate for that, which eventually can lead to some low back pain. Are you guys counting? Not really sure how many we've done, but I feel like we're almost to 12. So we're going to do 2 more for good measure. And then go ahead and roll over to the other side, however is most comfortable for you to get there. So good. Remember, again, you're either going to be up on your elbow. Elbow should be directly under the shoulder if you choose this option, or you're going to be all the way down. Check out your feet. They should be pretty much lined up with your hips with your knees in front of you. And then you're going to open. Very nice. You should feel it right here. And remember to breathe. Good, just a few more here. Good, let's do one more. Excellent job. All right, for the next one, if you're using the loop, we're gonna go ahead and take that off. We are gonna be on our back. For this one, you can either be on your elbows, but you wanna make sure you don't sink into your rib cage. So really lift up and away from the floor for me, or you can lay all the way down. We're gonna take one leg straight. Notice how my toes are pulled back towards my shin bone. So my foot isn't just haphazardly hanging. I'm pulling my toes back to activate my quads. I'm gonna lift this leg almost to the top of the opposite thigh. So notice this is the top. You still see a little space here in between my leg and the wall. I'm not gonna lift as high as the opposite leg, right? I may only lift halfway. It doesn't have to be bigger to be better. This is a straight leg lift. It's going to help strengthen your quad. However, your hip flexor is also working. So if you feel it more here, I need you to make your movement smaller. I need you to make sure your toes are pulled back towards your shin bone. Potentially maybe turn your foot out slightly and lift from the inside of your leg. And if you still feel it in the hip flexor, this may not be the best exercise for you, right? You're gonna feel it, let me take that back. You're gonna feel it in your hip flexor, but I don't want it to be painful. Let's switch sides. Squeeze your quad, pull your toes back towards your shin bone. If you're up on your elbows, remember to lift up and away from the floor. Good. Remember, you don't have to lift any higher than the opposite knee. Good. For some of you, this might be, as I called it, a beginner routine. This might serve as a great warm-up for your regular workout. It's a great way to get all of those muscles fired up and ready for exercise. Excellent job. All right, the next one we're going to do, we're going to flip over to hands and knees. So this is a core exercise. It's also going to work balance, okay? So if this doesn't feel good for your wrists, you can go ahead and come up onto the fists, right? Make a fist for a wrist. From here, we're going to start by taking one leg back behind us. So we're going to extend that leg back long. Notice I'm not shifting to the side. I'm not lifting so high that I'm arching my back. You only have to lift that leg until it's parallel to the earth. Think about drawing your navel in, right? So give your insides a hug with your core muscles. And then we're going to slowly lower and try the other side. Good. Holding it here, thinking about all those points that we just talked about. Nice strong core, pulling those belly buttons up and in, and gently release. Good, let's go back to the starting side. This time, I just want you to lower the foot down just until you barely feel your toe touch the floor, and then lift and squeeze your butt. Okay, so we're going to lower and lift with control. Notice how nothing from my hips up is moving, right? So I'm not lifting so high that I'm doing this. I'm keeping everything nice and quiet. My leg is the only thing moving. Let's switch to the other side. Good. Draw your navel in. Evenly distribute your weight between your knee and your hands. Good. So here we're just learning to balance on 3 points. Let's do one more. Nice. If you need a small break for the wrists or the lower back, you can sit back, maybe roll it out for a moment while I'll show you the next part. So the next part, we're going to lift an arm. Okay, so thumbs to the ceiling. Think about actively pressing through the 3 points that are on the floor. So again, we're trying not to lean, but we're extending through the spine and that outreached arm. Slowly lower and switch to the other side. Good. Pushing away from the floor with the supporting arm. Head and neck are a nice extension of your spine. So I'm not letting the head drop and I'm not looking forward. Gaze is ahead of me diagonally at the floor. Slowly lower. Good. Come back to the starting side. Draw those abdominals up and in. You're giving your insides a hug with your core muscles. We're going to lower the arm and lift. Lower and lift. How you doing out there? Good. We're going to do 3 more on this side. 3, 2, nice. And let's go ahead and switch to the other side. Extend the arm out. Remember to evenly press through your 3 points that are on the earth. We're going to lower and lift. Draw your abdominals in nice and tight. Good. Pushing away from the floor with that supporting arm. 2 more for me. Nice. Again, if you need a little break, sit back, roll out those wrists a little bit. And then here, the next part of this, you might not be ready for it today, but eventually I hope you will be. We're going to do opposite arm and leg. Okay? So we're going to take one leg out, flex your foot, pull your toes towards your shin bone. Draw your abdominals in, begin to press evenly through the opposite 2 points, and extend the other arm forward. Give your insides a hug with your core muscles. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, slowly lower down. Let's go to the other side. Extend the leg first. Find your balance point on the opposite 2 legs or opposite 2 points. I don't think we have 3 legs. Extend your arm forward. Good. Draw your belly button in. Extend through your heel. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, slowly lower. Good. One more time each side. So lift the leg first. Find your balance. Extend the arm out. Good. Breathe a couple of breaths for me. Slowly return to the mat. Opposite leg comes out. When you're ready, take the opposite arm. Good. Hold this for a few breaths for me. If this is your 5th, 6th time doing this video and you're ready to tackle the opposite arm and leg from the very beginning of this section, you absolutely can, right? So ultimately your goal might be, let me show you for those of you when you're ready, we would come to opposite arm and leg, and then when you feel strong here, you would slowly begin to add a reverse crunch. So I'm bringing my knee to the elbow and then extend. And you do about 6 of those on one side and then switch. Okay? So when you do this video next time or the time after that, if you're ready, you can go ahead and jump right to the spinal balance at the very beginning of that section. Are we ready to move on? All right. So let's go ahead and bring it up into a standing position for me. And I'm going to have you bring your weights with me. Bring your weights with you. Oh, my head is getting chopped off. Haha. So if you don't want to be in a standing position, you can, right? So here we have our weights. Good. We're going to do some pretty easy bicep curls. Okay, so you're standing normal. Knees are going to be slightly bent, abdominals in. I'm doing the splits so that my head doesn't get cut off in the screen. Good. Remember to breathe. Shoulders are back and down. You got it. Let's do 4 more of these. 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Your next exercise that we're going to do, you're going to bend your knees for me. This one can get a little tricky. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 options. But you're going to bend your knees for me. And then when you bend your knees, notice how my body is going to slant forward a little, right? So I'm not doing this. I want you to bend your knees and then lean forward. Okay? Bring your arms up to the side of your body and then press your arms back. So notice right here, my arms are at a 90-degree angle from the elbow, and then I'm going to press. Okay? Once you're done looking at me and you feel like you've got it, I need you to turn your head and look towards the floor. So that way your head and neck is in good alignment with the rest of your spine. Otherwise, if you're looking up at me, you look like this. And this is too much stress on your neck, right? So you're here. Think about pulling your shoulders down and back. So try not to get all hunchy like this. Right? Pull your shoulders back and down. Give your insides a hug with your core muscles the same way we were doing in spinal balance. Good. Let's go 4 more because I have no idea how many we've done because I'm cueing your alignment. 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Go ahead and come on up. You can put your weights down for a moment. Good. Shake it out. We're going to do a little bit of balance, and then we're going to repeat those 2 exercises. Okay? So again, I'm sorry that my head is cut off. I should have planned a little better, right? There we go. Still getting cut off, but better. All right, so your next one, we're going to work a little bit of balance. So we're going to stand with our feet together. For those of you that have been with me before and you know you're ready, you're going to stand with your feet further apart, but one in front of the other. Okay, so we call this maybe a, sometimes I like to call it a railroad stance. It's a split stance. Okay, we're going to take your arms out to the side. Good. Tilt your ear to one shoulder. Come center. Tilt your ear to the other shoulder. Come center. We're going to look over to one side. Come center. Look to the other side. Come center. Arms up. Good. Side lean. Come center. Side lean. Come center. Good. Hands on your shoulders. Think about lifting up through your chest. Nice tall spine. Rotate. Come center. And then rotate. Come center. Good job. Release those arms down. Mental note of which leg is in front for me. Go ahead and grab those dumbbells if you have them, soup cans, water bottles, whatever you're using today. Again, you're going to stand with your feet walking distance apart, knees slightly bent. I'm going to do the splits so that my head isn't cut off on the screen. Let's go ahead and do that second set of bicep curls here. Good. So nice full range of motion without locking out your elbows. right? So I'm letting my arms go straight, but I'm not letting those elbow joints lock. Remembering to breathe. Good. So we're probably using pretty light weights considering we're working out at home. So we could do up to 15 or 20 reps of this. Good job. Okay, from here, we're gonna bend those knees. Remember, we're not gonna bend and sit. We're gonna bend and then lean forward slightly. Good, pull your elbows back, shoulders down, squeezing your shoulder blades together. Gazes towards the floor. We're gonna extend those arms back. Good. And one thing that I will say, using water bottles, that water is moving around a little bit in the bottle, so it does make it a little more challenging to control the weight. So it's kind of an interesting twist to my normal workout, having to use a little bit more of my stabilizing muscles to keep those water bottles balanced in my hands. Good, remember, nice strong core, pulling that belly button in nice and tight. We're breathing. Anybody, what number are we on? Did I hear you say 11? Maybe? Let's go 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. All right, from there, we're gonna do that balance on the other side. So I need you to take the other leg forward. Again, if you're new, feet are gonna be walking distance apart. If you're a little more progressed, your feet are gonna come one in front of the other. They're still walking distance apart, but eventually I'm gonna get them to where they are on a balance beam, and then maybe even eventually to where I'm toe heel. Okay, so that's the progression. The more that you do this video, you can progress those on your own. Woo! Take your arms out to the side. Good, ear to shoulder. Come center, ear to shoulder. Good, come center. Look over your shoulder. Come center, look over the other shoulder. Center, arms come up. Good, a little side lean, nothing crazy. Come center to the other side. Remember, we can also progress these by doing them with our eyes closed. That would be your ultimate balance challenge. Again, think about a nice tall spine here. We're going to rotate. Come center, rotate to the other side, and come center. Release. Excellent job. Right here, let's go ahead and take a nice deep breath in. Exhale it out. Good, take your arms behind you, nice chest stretch. If you're okay to clasp your hands together, go ahead and do that for me. Good, so we have quite a few other videos here on my channel that are for stretching, so I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time with that today. I would love for you to jump over to one of those videos to finish your workout. The chair stretch might be a good one, or the kitchen sink stretch. Even the chair stretch inspired by yoga would be a good one. So depending on how much time you have. Another great idea is if you can do a walk before this workout. So there's lots of different ways you can kind of mix and match movement and videos to create different workouts. So you could take a walk before this video, maybe 15, 30 minutes. Then do this routine, and then do this light stretch that we're doing here at the end, and that would account for your hour session for today. Or you could do this workout followed by one of the stretch videos that we have on this channel, and that might make up your workout session for today. Lots of ways you can mix and match to keep it interesting. Good, we're gonna take one arm up. Can you guys hear my clock? Yep, I thought it would be cool to put a clock on the wall so that I could see what time it was and how long our sessions were going. But my clock has a second hand, which comes in really cool when we're doing timed exercises. but not so cool when you have a nice quiet environment because you can hear the secondhand ticking. So now that I've mentioned, and let's finish up with a nice easy back stretch. So hands are going to come down to your thighs. We're going to pull that belly button in, let the shoulders round forward. Maybe let your head drop if that's appropriate for you. Feeling a great stretch all the way through the back of the body. And then we're going to flatten it out. And go ahead and round one more time. Stretch, 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 stretch. And flatten it out. And slowly roll it all the way up, one vertebrae at a time. Yes, stacking them up nice and neat. Last time, take a deep breath in for me. Exhale it out. Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, if you have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do that now because then you will be alerted every time I add a new video. All right. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope